Good afternoon, class. Okay, we're going to discuss about your quiz taken last weekend. So for Math 153 Analytic Geometry, quiz number 1. So we have a sample problem and solution. So after the discussion of this quiz number 1 sample problem and solution, you're going to take your supplementary quiz activity in order for you to apply kung ano yung mga nahibaruan in this quiz number 1. So, usually, the mga problem nga to ha supplementary problem is related nga diha aton quiz number 1. So, I hope your comprehension will improve based on the sample problem and solution na yung makikita nga diha ato quiz number 1. Okay? So, start with our problem number 1. Find the distance between point A and point B. With coordinate 4 and -3 and -2 and 5. So, first step, you need to plot the given point. You have a point A and point B. So, you need to plot these 2 points. Okay, so plot sa Cartesian coordinate plane. So, let's find point A. You have X and you have this as your Y. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So you have 4 and -3. 1, 2, 3. So that's your -3. So approximately, this is the location of your point A. And for your point B, that is -2 and +5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this is your 5 and this is -2. So approximately, at this point, amoy nimo location sa imo point B. Okay. Ang problem is find the distance. So we need to find the distance between point A and point B. So this is the distance that we're going to find. Sir, is there any way to determine this distance aside from using the distance formula for analytic geometry? Yes, using your trigonometry, using the theorem Pythagoras, you can determine, since you have the linear distance of your x and the linear distance of your y. So, using this variable x and y, you can determine the distance between A and B using the parameter given based on the coordinate A and B. But in analytic, we can also use the distance formula. So, to determine the distance, we need to use the distance formula. That is D is equal to square root of x sub 2 minus x sub 1 squared plus y sub 2 minus y sub 1 squared. Okay, so x sub 2, so this is your x sub 1 for your point A, and this is your y sub 1. Sa point B naman, this is your x sub 2 and this is your y sub 2. So substitute lang yung given ng mga value for your A and B dito sa distance formula. Okay. Substitute ta. So square root of, so x sub 2, that is -2 minus animo x sub 1, that is 4 squared. So this is -2 plus animo y sub 2 pera, that is 5 minus pera nimo 3 and y sub 1, that is -3 squared. Okay, rationalize. Rationalize taon na. -2 minus -4. Pera man na may nanabunga di. So square root of -2 squared plus here. So positive times negative magiging positive. Negative times negative magiging positive 3 squared. So doing so, so your answer here is what? Using your calculator. Square root of quantity -2 minus 4 squared plus your 5 plus 3 squared. So your answer for your D is 10. Okay. So let's check kung pareho sila sa distance formula or sa Pythagorean. In Pythagorean naman, so we can say that this 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this is 6 linear distance. How about for this one? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So this is 8. So if we're going to apply the Pythagorean theorem, halos the same lang sa distance formula. Square root of 8 squared plus 6 squared. Okay? So 8 squared plus 6 squared, the same. Meron ka ring value of 10. Okay, so Pythagorean or the distance formula, actually the distance formula is based on the theory of Pythagoras. Okay? So I hope the problem number 1 is clear to everyone. If you have question, you can message to our GC or to your module account. Okay, let's proceed to problem number 2. The problem number 2, the linear distance between -4 and 17 on the number line is. So you just need to determine the linear distance. For example, if you have a Cartesian plane, so this is your 0, or this is 1, -4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And this is 17, this is 5, 10, 15, 16, 17. So this is 17. So that is positive x, and this is negative x. So the linear distance between this one, so that is your linear distance. So that is equal to your absolute value of your -4 plus 17, absolute value of 17. So that is equal to 21 units. So that is the linear distance between two. So if you're going to count manually, that is equal to 21. From here going to there, or from this point going to this point, pareho lang. So magka-count ka dyan ng 1, 2 up to here. So that is 21. The same, pabalik. So linear. In our formula naman, it is absolute. Absolute. Kasi if you're not going to consider absolute, what will happen is negative. Ibabawas niya yan sa 17. So you have a wrong answer. So it's supposed to be the absolute. So hindi niya i-consider yung whatever sign. So he will only consider the linear or the value. Kung 4, 4 lang, walang sign. Okay? So that is for your example number 2. Okay, moving on to your example number 3. Okay, a ladder. For problem number 3, a ladder with a, if I'm not mistaken, this is in your problem, for sample problem, let's assume a ladder. This is 10 feet and this is 8 feet. So a ladder of 10 feet long leans against a wall, touching it 8 feet above the ground. What is the slope of the ladder? So simple lang. If you can recall in our video class discussion, let's define first the slope. What is the other term for slope? Slope is also known as gradient. Gradient. Gradient or slope is equal to your vertical rise and horizontal run. Or if you have a certain triangle, so this is your horizontal run, this is your vertical rise. Is your horizontal, this is your vertical rise, and this is your horizontal run, which is your 10 feet long. Okay, what's the question? So, what is the slope? In your discussion, the slope of a line, this terminal line, the slope of your line is equal to the tangent of its angle, or equal to the tangent of Or in our video class discussion, we abbreviate slope as your M, or equal to the tangent of your angle. So tangent of your angle. But what is M? M is equal to vertical rise or over the horizontal line. So in this case, our M is equal to your vertical rise 8 over horizontal run 10. Okay? So, if you want to determine the value of your theta, for this problem, the answer is 8 over 10. That is your M for this problem. But if the problem continues to ask you to determine the angle, so your angle should be equal to the what? This is arctan. Arctan or arctan of 8 over 10, or you can write this as tangent raised to negative 1. This is arctan of 8 over 10. So for the angle, that is equal to 38 if the angle is the one being asked. But in this problem, you're only asked for the slope. So the answer is 8 over 10. Okay? Okay, let's move to your problem number 4. Okay, problem number 4, you need to find the value of your K. Find the K of distance between K0 and 0 to K is D. So, let's assume the distance between is 10. Okay? So, using the distance formula, okay, since D is given, remember, D is given, and you have the point A and point B. So, halos given lahat. But you have an unknown value of K. So, K yung hinahanap. So, given naman yung distance. So, let's base on distance. So, using the distance formula, that is D is equal to square root of x squared minus x sub 1 squared. So, this is only x sub 1, ha? X sub 2 minus x sub 1 squared plus y sub 2 minus y sub 1 squared. Okay. So, given naman lahat. So, this is your x sub 1, y sub 1, this is your x sub 2, and y sub 2. Substitute mo lang yung mga given parameters. Given yung D, given yung everything except for the K is the unknown. Okay. Substitute the value. So, our D is 10. So, square root of 0, yung x sub 2, 0, minus x sub 1, this is k, squared, plus yung y sub 2 natin, that is 2k, minus 0, squared. Okay, so we need to remove the zeros. So, what will happen? 10, square root of, this is here, magiging negative k na lang, squared. Plus dito, magiging 2k squared. Okay, then we combine like terms. So, substitute mo yung power, papasok. So, square root of, the square of negative k is still k squared. And here, the square root of 2k, that is square root of 2, that is 4, and k squared. So, then combine like terms, then what will happen? You should have 10 square root of, so same term, that is 5k squared. So, we need to simplify further or remove the radical to simplify our equation. So we need to remove this radical. So what will happen? We apply the radical to our given. So this is square root of 5. Then makakancel yung dito mo, yung k squared mo. So the remaining here is magiging, since radical, so magiging times the absolute value of your k. Now, k is our unknown. What do you mean by absolute? It means that k have two value. It's either the positive side or the negative side for your k. So since k is our unknown, so right now, the absolute value of k is equal to, ita-transfer mo lang yung negative 5 mo, di ba, sa kabila? Yes, magiging 10 over square root of 5. So, pwede na ba itong answer? You need to simplify further, di ba? Sa algebra natin, sa fraction, we need to reduce it. So, in order to reduce, we need to multiply the fraction with its denominator. So, what will happen is magiging 10 square root of square root of 5 times square root of 5 over square root of 5. So, what will happen is magiging 10 square root of 5 over, if you multiply square root of 5, square root of 5, so mai-eliminate mo yung radical mo. The remaining is yung value na 5. Then, apply cancellation. So, you need to reduce still. Cancel 10 by 5. Answer is 2 square root of 5. So, finally, therefore, your final answer for your k is absolute k is equal to 2 square root of 5. So, in this problem, it's either you input the positive side or the negative side. They are both correct since the value of your k is both positive and negative. Okay, moving on to your problem number 5. A 6 feet tall man is standing near a tree on a level ground. His shadow is 4 feet long. If the length of a tree is equal to 18 feet, how tall is the tree? So, one word dito yung nag-make it complex. Why? You will assume that how tall is the tree? If you're going to check the given, if the length of the tree is equal to 18, you will be confused. Ano yun nga 18 feet? Kasi, if the length of the tree, okay, but you need to correlate first this length of tree kung ano ito na iyagin di-discuss nga da. Based on the problem, a 6 feet tall man is standing near tree on level ground. So, adto ha ground. His shadow is 4 feet. Ibig sabihin, kung mapapansin mo, if the length of the tree is equal to 18 feet, if the problem is specify 18 feet is not the length or the height of the tree. That is the length of the shadow of the tree. Since the 6 feet tall man is standing near a tree. Yung keyword dito, level ground. So, ibig sabihin, if this is your tree, for example, this is your that's a tree, and this is the man. Uy, does it look like a man? Not sure. Okay, this man is what? 6 feet tall, and mayroon daw siyang shadow na 4 feet long. So, yung tree naman, standing near the tree on level ground. Ibig sabihin, malapit siya dun sa shadow ni tree. So, if mayroon siyang 18 feet na shadow ng tree. So, what is the unknown? How tall is the tree? Yun na nga. The unknown is the height of the tree. So, yung hinahanap is height of the tree. Yung medyo nagpa-complex sa problem na to is yung level ground. If you're not going to correlate the relationship between the height of a man and the shadow of the man to the height of the tree and the shadow of the tree with respect to them, di mo mako-conceptualize yung problem. So, but our solution here is a simple algebra, yung ratio and proportion natin. So, if we have a height of the tree over the shadow, that is 18, and so similar triangle, dito yung ginamit para sa ratio and proportion. And the height of the man over the shadow of the man. So, based on this problem, matitrace natin yung value nung or yung height ng K. So finally, the height of the tree is equal to what? So you're going to multiply, this is 16 times 18 over 4. Or that is equal to your 27. Okay? So ratio and proportion lang yung ginamit niya dito. Nagkakaiba lang, depende how you interpret the problem. So, at this stage, so, it's mas maganda na ma-expose ka sa different kind of problem. Later, yung simple how tall is the tree will become complex pag adto na kamuha integral calculus. Why? Or in differential calculus, hindi na yung height ng tree yung ibibigay sa iyo. The problem is pag differential calculus niya, related rates. So ibibigay yung details ng tree, yung height ng tree and yung shadow ng tree, but this person is moving. So yung itatanong niya is yung changes nung length ng shadow niya, di ba? So if this is a source of light or your sunlight, as a person go near to the straight below the sunlight, yung shadow niya, magbabago rin yung length habang naglalakad siya. So related rates naman yung problem na yan. Or, for example, a ladder, in our previous example, kung ipupunta na to siya sa differential calculus na approach, yung ladder mo naman dito, for example, this is the ladder, nag-i-slide siya sa pababa, then, yung magiging question niya, yung changes nung X. Kasi, as the ladder slides going down, the position of the end of your ladder changes also with respect to the reference X. So, rate of change ng X na naman yung didetermine mo. So, yun yung mga problem natin sa differential calculus, related rates. Okay? So, dapat at the start pa lang, na-expose na tayo sa different kind of problem. So, okay, let's move on to our last problem example. The line segment joining the point A and B. Your point A is your 2 and negative 6, and your B is 8 and 3. The line segment is divided into 3 equal parts. Okay, as you can recall, this divided into 3 parts, this is your what? That is your K. That is your K, which is the ratio of both line. So, yung K, this is your K. If you can recall, if you review the video class discussion, in the midpoint of a line segment, you need to determine the value of your K, then you can use this formula. So in this case, so since XM means midpoint, okay? XM, that is midpoint, X is X sub 1 plus your K on X sub 2 minus X sub 1. So, given lahat, meron kang X sub 1, Y sub 1, and X sub 2, Y sub 2 given. If the problem is looking for Y, you can also use Y, that is Y sub 1 plus K, Y sub 2 minus Y sub 1. Yung parameter naman yung Y gagamitin mo. And here, since ito yung pinahanap natin na problem, just substitute the value. But wait, what is the value of your K? Your K is equal to the ratio of the positive of both external and internal division. So that is equal to 1/3. So substitute the value of your k to your formula. So in this case, x sub m, x sub 1, 2, plus what is your k? 1/3. Then x sub 2, 8, minus x sub 1, 2. So finally, your x sub m is equal to 1/3 times 8 minus 2, that is 6. 1/3 of 6, that is 2, plus 2. So therefore, the line segment joining the point A and B with respect to the nearest point to A, x sub m is equal to 4. Or, same principle gamitin mo dito sa y. So for xm, that is the nearest point to your line A. Okay? So, if you have question or you have clarification, just refer to your video class discussion, or you can ask the question. You can send your message, your model, address to me para mabaton ko gyapon yung mga pangutana. Okay, so this is the discussion for your quiz number 1 problem. So after this discussion, you're going to answer your supplementary quiz available in your model. So that's all for today. Thank you, class, and have a nice day.